Denpa Chanden de Dijin Jeba Ta Chompa Yanta Ba Zobe Sanje Ripa Dan Shasu Denpa Devar Shepa Chidin Chenpa Chipu Tuve Kalo Chua Lana Mepa Lada Minam Ji Denpa Sanje Chumden de Peja Wa Shaja Tupa La Chatsel Chado Japsu Chewo Denpa Chumden de Dijin Sheba Ta Chompa Yanta Ba Zobe Sanje Ripa Dan Shasu Denpa Devara Cheba Jidin Jemba Jibu Dive Kalo Jua Lana Mepa Lada Minam Ji Denpa Sanje Chumdende Bejawa Shaja Tuba La Chazelo Chodo Japsu Chewo Denpa Chumdende Tijin Sheba Ta Chompa Yandam Zobe Sanje Riba Dan Shasu Denpa Devara Cheba Jidin Jemba Jibu Dive Kalo Jua Lana Mepa Lada Minam Ji Denpa Sanje Chumdende Beja wa shaja toba la cha tse lo cho do cha su chi wo kan tse ka ni zo che dong tse sa jin de la kong pa tu po ni ma ni chi tin de na chu che song de tse che pa cho la cha tse nam da kong a cho to su san wa ji chi cha zo se je lun po cha cha pa chi tin sum do la nye wo gombo cho ni je la cha tse lo tsen cho de pa chi men ta we she se to cha wo lo cho la cha tse Dede deda seba soma che nyame chujin jala cha zelo gombo to je chen tenpa tam je chenpe tenpa po. Sena yende ja zui jin di jin jala cha zelo tabe de cha te wa ju jewe nye son le dwe je. Jido den tam chu ju pa shi ju jala cha zelo te na te nam yang te la pa ta la ra to ne shin je tam pa yun ten de. Jinde la yang cha tse lo ti kwa chi yang me cha xin je wo pe song so pa chi rang je sim le yong so di. Tene san je ten pa yi ka ma ra ri ma me tang ju ma se pa chu ta me lam lo tang chen da bu. Di je che nam ti tar ta su nam ti ye tam je se pa yi kong pa tum ni jun je cha tu te ka ta na ta chi ve la tu. Si be cho le cho wa zhe wa shu 마산지 메시라 바르지 마지 맹간한지 오니 소소라리 이시주 되섬 대외 용라 자제로 대야다 가데가데 바라 가데 바라 삼가데 부티 소 대야다 가데가데 바라 가데 바라 삼가데 부티 소하 대야다 가데가데 바라 가데 바라 삼가데 부티 소하 Gere tongda jeju jiwa tang, mi tu nebe jentang chawa tang, tumbara chuchi pi sum tsokyo. Chashi de jang ting tere de le sho. Ni tu shiwa tsu nam kunshi ni ji ni ji tinze kanyi tang, chola tumbara che na lam shi ni ji ji ten tu ru tse pa kang. Kanda yanda tenpe tu na namba kunde na tso di somba, ni tu chen tu senpe tso che san je kini. Yum de la cha ze lo kan je din jin de ba chung ka ba me ba je me ba che ba me ba ta me ba wa me ba zhe me ba ta de de me dun je me zhe ba ni xi xin de zo be san je ma nam je dang ba de la cha ze lo sa ji bi ji zhong je me duo zhang re ra ling xin nin de jian ba de san je xing du me de bi wa 这个南大新都这边说，一到曼谷路热那边着了，今年呀大呀没，上街吃当做的吃南了，咱就把多大你就是去大街吃些街边做南街，这了偏街上街主板说上街吃当做的吃南了，咱就把多大你就是去。大地出席地位做能的，找了并且上级出版社上级去当做的去哪了？全球报道大年就是去大地出席地位做能的，找了并且上级出版社。看见兔子你说呢，到我同街旁边去，旁边去那蹲这边，过他们对了，车子咯。Raja Songra Kun La Tawi Mi Kesan Taba Tubi Chungo Cho Tsewe Chungwe Tache Tsepa Seze Shini Nam La Kuibe Tui. Okay. So we finish, I think, the seeing part, right? Uh, Cherry body da chetan je tomba ni de tsini meba ma jeba manga ba tima meba tima dan tiwa meba kanwa meba o. Therefore, Shariputra, all phenomena are empty, emptiness. They are without defining characteristic. They are not born. They do not cease. They are not defiled. They are not undefiled. They are not deficient, and they are not complete. So, which is actually uh, uh, they are not, which is mentioned last time, right? They are not, which means uh, each of those what you call uh, conventional phenomena are, not exist independently. They are not, they are without definings, right? So it means they are empty of defining characteristic. They are empty of born. They are empty of cease. Uh, like that. It's kind of the 8 different types of the emptiness. Eight different characteristics of emptiness they're showing. So, which is what you call the part of seeings, the bodhisattva who reach on the part of seeings, right? Part of seeing. When those bodhisattvas enter to the emptiness, so they are entering the emptiness through, we call the 3 doors of liberation, right? The 3 doors of liberation, which are the door of liberation of emptiness, the door of liberation of signlessness, uh, the door of liberation of wishlessness. The door of liberation of emptiness is the emptiness of the essence, the nature, the essence. The door of liberation of signlessness, which means the emptiness of the causes, and the draw of liberation of wishlessness, what that means is emptiness of result, right? So they enter the emptiness through the 3, it is called the 3 doors of liberation. So 3 doors of liberation, which are the wisdom of emptiness, right? Who cognize, who understanding the emptiness of essence, emptiness of causes, emptiness of a result, right? So which means they perceiving all phenomena emptiness, right? The emptiness. So all the compounded phenomena are either they have a function of result, they have a function of causes, and their own essence, the 3 kind of the characteristic they have. So all of these characteristics are the empty. So the part of seeing where they enter the emptiness through the 3 door of liberation, right? That we finish. So these 8 characteristic, what you call condense into the 3 doors of liberation, right? All of this put it into the 3 doors of liberation. The first, all phenomena are emptiness, is the door of liberation, of emptiness. Then second, they are without defining characteristic. They are not born. They do not cease. They are not defiled. They are not undefiled. These 5 emptiness are the part of the door of liberation of sightlessness, which is the causes, emptiness of causes. All of those 5 put it into there, that door. Then the last two, they are not deficient and they are not complete. These two types of the emptiness, it's part of the, among the three door, it goes the last one, the door of liberation of wish lessness, which is the emptiness of result. So all of these 8 different types of the emptiness, right, put it into 3 doors of the liberation, right, all of them. So the part of seeing when they enter or when they cognizing emptiness through the 3 door of liberation. Now today, the next one. Sharibu Tedave not Tombanyela Sume so me Tujime number Sheva me now I'm Nami Chime Lume Jime Sume Tame Time Rome de Cheme Cheme to Miji Kame Bani Yiji Kame Yiji number Shibe Kamji Pardoan Meto Mariba Seba Meba Ne Kashime Kashi Sebe Pardoan Meto Dishin to Dunga Wata Kunjunga to Koba da Lami Ishime Toba Me Matopaya Metos. This paragraph. Therefore, Shariputra, right? So because of that, Shariputra, in emptiness, there is no form, no feelings, no perceptions, no mental formation, and no consciousness. These are the 5, it's called 5 aggregates, right? 5 aggregates. Then next, there is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, and no mind. There is no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no texture, and no mental objects. Those are 12. Those 12 objects is called 12 sources, right? 12 sources. 12 sources, which are the 6 faculties, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mental faculties, 6 objects. I perceive the form, right? So each 6 objects and 6 faculties is called 12 sources, right? So these are the 3rd and 4th lines is talking about 6 sources, which means meaning comes later. First, I just try to explain you. First line is showing the 5 aggregates, right? Now, second one is talking about the 12 sources. Then the next line, there is no I element, and so on up to no mind element, including up to no elements of mental consciousness, right? So this line is showing, it's called 18 constitution or 18 elements, right? 18 elements or the 18 constitution, which are same 6 faculties, 6 objects, 6 consciousness, right? 6 consciousness, which are eye sense consciousness, ear, nose, tongue, body, mental sense consciousness, right? These are called 6 consciousness. Then 6 faculties, eye faculty, ear, nose, tongue, body, mental faculties. Then 6 objects, which are form to the all the way to the form and sound, smell, taste, tangible, and general phenomena. So these are the 18 constitutions or elements, 18 elements. So when Buddha introduced the emptiness, they used the objects, 5 aggregates, 12 sources, and 18 constitutions, right? 18 elements. So the 12 sources are actually, it's also part of the 18 element. This all you can, all the what you call the 18 element and the 12 sources, you can condense to the 5 aggregates. And if you put it in there, everything goes to the 5 aggregates. Then you can make a little bit detail. It's called 12 sources, right? 12 sources, which is mainly the 6 faculties and 6 objects. Then you go more detail, called 18 elements, which upon the 12 sources, you added 6 consciousness, right? 5 sense consciousness and 6 mental consciousness. So you added there, it's become 12 sources. 18 elements. So these lines are showing 5 aggregates, 12 sources, and 18 elements. Then the next, there is no ignorance and there is no extinction of ignorance. And so on up to no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. So this line is showing 12 link of interdependence, right? 12 link of dependent originations. 12 link of dependent origination. So the 12 link of dependent origination, general, it just, you can say when we talk about 12 link of dependent arising or dependent origination, you can say maybe affliction, afflictive part of the 12 link of dependent origination, right? And what you call virtuous part, or it in literally it means thoroughly afflicted, dependent arising, completely pure dependent arising. So thoroughly afflicted 12 link of dependent arising, completely pure 12 link of dependent arising. You can divide into 2 when this word, when they're talking about here. So first, when we talk about the afflicted part of the 12 link of dependent arising you can go 2 ways. One is called the forward and reverse order of the dependent dependent arising. So forward order of dependent arising, reverse orders of the dependent origination, dependent arising. There are 2 different types of the dependent arising when they introduce. So that is why here there is no ignorance, and medium part, you skip that medium line, then you go to the so on to no aging and death, right? There is no ignorance, right? So on up to no aging and death. This line refers what you call the afflicted dependent arising, right? Afflicted dependent arising, 12 link of dependent arising. Or you can say the thoroughly afflicted dependent arising. And this is talking about the forward order of dependent arising. Now here, first, my English makes me irritated now. It's hard to come with this word with, first, 12 link of dependent arising has a 2 different types. One is called thoroughly afflicted 12 link of dependent arising, completely pure, right? Completely pure 12 link of dependent arising. There are two differences. Within the first are thoroughly afflicted dependent arising. 12 link of dependent arising has two. One is called a fourth order of 12 link of dependent arising, reverse order of 12 link of dependent arising. Clear, right? It's clear now. So fourth order, what that means here in the text they're saying there's no ignorance to all the way down there, so on up to no aging and death. That line is showing the fourth order of the dependent arising, the afflicted part, right? Thoroughly afflicted fourth order of the dependent arising, which means when we're talking about the 12 link of dependent arising, when you put it like one by one, because this line they just make briefly, just short sentence. But if you go detail, what they're talking about, ignorance, right? There is no ignorance. Then second, there's no compositional activities. There's no consciousness, no name and form, no six sources, no contact, no feeling, no craving, no grasping, no potential existence, no birth, and no aging and death, right? 12 link. 12 link of dependent, which means first, ignorance. Second, compositional activity, which is the karma. Actually, compositional activity, which means the karma. Third, consciousness, right? Then fourth, name and form. Name and form is also, it's same like a 5 aggregates. Same. Name, which showing rest of the 4 aggregates, right? Form is the first. Among the 5 aggregate, the first is the form aggregate. Then feeling, discrimination, mental formation, consciousness, all of these 4 aggregates, they use one word, name, right? So name and form, which means 5 aggregates. Then the next 6 sources, right? Mention same 6 sources. Then next contact, then next feeling, craving, grasping, potential. Craving, grasping is actually attachment. It's attachment. Potential existence, birth, aging, and death. So these are the 12 link of interdependence, which mainly what that means, it's showing how we circle in samsara. Among the 4 noble truth, truth of suffering, truth of origin of suffering. When you go more detail, then these 12 link of interdependence is the part of truth of suffering and truth of origin of suffering. But here today, I don't need to explain, each of them what this meaning or what that. That's who study here, they all know about these things. I just give you the little information about this, which, according to this line, there's no ignorance to until up to the no aging and death, right? There are 12. So these 12 are called the 12 link of interdependence. It's called forward order of 12 link of interdependence. It's 4. Now, backward, is reverse, and a reverse order also. So it's forward and the reverse. So when you go to the forward way, maybe you can say marbe kingi duje means one second. Yeah. Maribe kingi duje means compositional activity conditioned or originated by ignorance, right? So second, compositional activities originate by, or can you say originate by, or can you say conditioned by ignorance? Maybe same, right? So if you go like that way, so compositional activity conditioned by ignorance. Then next you go consciousness conditioning by compositional activities. Name and form conditioning by consciousness. Six sources or conditioning by name and form. If you go this way, it's called forward order of afflictive, a troubling of interdependent arising, that order, when you go that way. So which means mainly compositional activities originate from its causes. First one, ignorance, right? Then consciousness is causes by compositional activities. So if you go that way, it's called forward order of the traveling of interdependence. Now, reverse order. Reverse order, how should you go? You can say birth, right? Number 11, birth, it's kind of not that much difficult, but it makes kind of complicated. Aging and death conditioning by birth, right? And birth conditioning by potential existence. Potential existence conditioning by grasping. Grasping conditioning by craving. If you go that way, backward, it's called the reverse order of the dependent or traveling of dependent arising, right? It is clear, right? It's not very complicated, but where I explain is sometimes for me to struggle with the words. How can I put it? That's the what you call the thoroughly afflicted, 12 link of dependent arising, fourth order and reverse order, right? These are two. Now the other side is called another one is called what you call pure, completely pure dependent arising, 12 link of dependent arising, right? Completely pure 12 link of dependent arising also has two, fourth order and reverse order, right? Fourth order and reverse order. Now, fourth order, which is what you call the cessation of ignorance, is the cessation of compositional activities, right? So cessation of ignorance, maybe you can say cessations of ignorance cease compositional activities. Cessation of compositional activity cease our consciousness, right? Cessation of consciousness cease name and form. So if you go that way, that order is called completely pure fourth order of dependent arising, right? Fourth order of dependent arising. Now completely pure reverse order of dependent arising is cessation of birth cease aging and death, right? And cessation of potential, number 10, cease birth, right? Cessation of, then number 9, which is called grasping, cease potential existence. Cessation of craving, cease grasping. If you go that way, it's called the completely pure reverse order of the 12 link of dependent arising. So that's the how, here, that is why this line saying there is no ignorance, so on up to no aging and death. This line showing fourth order and reverse order of affliction part of the 12 link of dependent arising, right? Then there is no extension ignorance, no extension of ignorance up to no extension of aging and death. This line showing completely pure 12 link of dependent arising, both fourth and reverse order, right? So you have to divide the word. Simple is there's no ignorance, and you skip the middle the line, you go the next one, so on up to no aging and death. This is showing the thoroughly afflicted 12 link of dependent arising. There is no extension of ignorance to all the way down there, no extension of aging and death. That's showing thoroughly a complete pure 12 link of dependent arising, right? Now, mainly what is this complicated things is a very simple what you call thoroughly afflicted 12 link of dependent arising is part of first two truth of origin of suffering and truth of suffering. These are the two detail. Completely pure 12 link of dependent arising is part of truth of part and truth of cessation, and a cessation of suffering, next to truth. So four noble truth and the 12 link of dependent arising are the kind of, you go very simple way, four noble truth. If you go more detail, then 12 link of interdependent arising, right? So among the four noble truth, first two truth is part of afflictive part of the truths. And the second, third and fourth, truth of cessation of suffering and truth of part, these are the part of pure, right? Completely pure kind of the dependent arising. So that is why 12 link of dependent arising has two different part of the dependent. One is afflictive part, one is pure and virtuous part, right? Afflictive part has two forward and reverse order, and virtuous or pure dependent arising also has two different order, forward and reverse order. So that's mainly why they're talking. This is how we circle in samsara, how we, what you call, purify or liberate from the samsara. That's how these two different orders of the 12 link of interdependence. Then the last one, likewise, there is no suffering, origin, cessation, or part. These are the four noble truths, right? Four noble truths. There is no wisdom. So the four noble truths and 12 link of dependence are kind of the object side. These are the object, part of the object. You call non-appearance of the objects of observation is the four noble truth. Then there is no wisdom
which is the subject, and a non-appearance of the observer, the subject, no wisdom. Then the last, no attainment, even no non-attainment. That's the result, right? Now, finally, all this what they're talking about is Shariputra in emptiness. In emptiness. So this is very important. We have to know about that because sometimes people may misunderstanding. There is no form, which means in emptiness, there's no form, right? It's not talking about general, there's no form. In emptiness, there's no form. So in emptiness, what does that really mean? So there's a many different way to explain. One is it is saying in the direct perception of emptiness, which is means here this paragraph is talking about the meditation path, right? Meditation path is how those on the path of meditation into the emptiness, right? The previous one, how those of the path of seeing into the emptiness. That previous paragraph we finish. Now this paragraph, therefore Shariputra in emptiness, that all paragraph today we read it. This paragraph, what they're showing is how those on the path of meditation, right, into the emptiness. So here in emptiness, Shariputra in emptiness. So in emptiness, which is in the direct perception of emptiness, like a meditate equipoise, right? Meditate equipoise, the bodhisattva, when they in the direct of the perception of emptiness, there's no any conventional truths there, right? In the perception of emptiness, only emptiness. Anything exists should be emptiness. In the perception of emptiness. So that's why in emptiness, which means in the perception of emptiness, there's no form, right? And then the Larampa, one of the Tibetan Mongolian master, when he's saying, in emptiness, there's no form, and so forth means that form and so forth do not exist in the sight of the empty, meditated equipoise on the path of meditation. Right now, you got it. It's called in the Heart Sutra say in emptiness there is no form, which means form and so forth do not exist in the sight of the meditated equipoise on the path of meditation, right? On the path of meditation. So in the path of meditation, what you call which means there's no form in the field of the vision of meditated equipoise. In that vision, there's no form, right? In the mind who perceiving emptiness directly, which means on that perception, it's only emptiness. So in the field of that perception, there's no any conventional truths there. So in that perception, in that vision, so that is why in emptiness, there's no form, no feeling, no, now here, if you go like a directly explain, you can say, in the vision of emptiness or in the perception of emptiness, the form, feeling, mental formation, consciousness will not appear to the meditated equipoise, right? In their perception, in that perception, form and so forth, those five aggregates are non-appearance. They not appear into that. So that's why I call no form, which means form, no appearance in the vision of meditative equipoise, in the field of the meditative equipoise. That's how you should put it. All of those 5 aggregates, 12 sources, 18 elements, and 12 link of interdependence, which are afflicted part and pure part both, and 4 noble truths are also, and the perception. There's no wisdom, which is the observer, right? The perception. So the non-appearance of the observer. So in the meditative equipoise, in the emptiness, there's no observer. There's no any observer. There's no any objects. There's nothing, any emptiness, only emptiness, right? So that is why it's called the free from dualistic, right? There's a free from dualistic. There's only one perception, emptiness only. So if any conventional truths appear to that mind, then dualistic, right? They have a two appearance, dualistic. So in meditative equipoise, in that stages of the mind, it's only one, emptiness alone. So in that perception, all of these conventional truths are not exist, right? They not appearance in that. Even non-attainment. So attainment, which is the result of Buddhahood, non-attainment, which is all the obstacles, right? All the afflictions. So none of these things are exist. None of these things are exist in the stages of the meditative equipoise, in that field. None of these exist. So this paragraph is showing the how those of the meditation, the part of the meditations into the emptiness. Rather, the part of the meditation who reach the part of the meditation, how they enter the emptiness, means they enter the emptiness, what you call straight, directly, and they are free from dualistic appearance. They appear only one, which is the emptiness, only emptiness. So that is called meditative equipoise. Equipoise, which is only one object, they remain under only one phenomena, emptiness. None of conventional phenomena exist in the field of the meditative equipoise, right? None of this. Then the next paragraph. Sheribu Tadawina Cheju Semba no Toba Mebi Chir, Sheraji Paritu Chimbala, Tinji Nede, Semla Tiba Meji Taba Mede, Chinjolo Le Shindo de Nyanyele de Betajido. Tusum the number should be Sanjay Tanji, Sheraji Paritu Chimbala, Tene, Lana Maba Yandava Zubi Chanjudo, Mombar Zoba San Gesos, which means, therefore, Shariputra, since bodhisattvas have no attainments, so they only use one, right? The last part of the no attainments, which means you should put all the way from the 5 aggregates to all the way to the non-attainments. In the previous paragraph, there's 5 aggregates, 12 sources, 18 elements, 12 link of interdependence, 4 noble truths, right? And wisdom, and non-attainment and non-attainments. So all of this, since bodhisattva have no attainment, means in the meditation equipoise and the part of meditation, the bodhisattva, who perceiving in the emptiness directly, in that field, none of these exists, right? That's why I call have no attainments, have no any of these conventional truths or conventional phenomena. They rely on this perfection of wisdom. So they They relying on this perfection of wisdom and abide in it. So they means this bodhisattva who reach, who reach the meditation parts, the last one, the last bodhisattva, there's a meditation part has a 10. You got these notes last time what you call the Jonathan, did you send it this whole chapter, the notes? You got it or not?
He did. He sent
Yes.
Geshe-la. So
Okay.
I put in the chat box that people needed to email me to get the notes because I don't have the specific emails of just the people taking this class. So if people, I'll put my email back in the chat box, but people need to email me if you want the notes.
So you got it or not? First, the point is that you all have that notes, the five parts, or you have that?
I have
Okay.
it.
Okay. So this, if you have those five parts, then it's easy to understanding. Otherwise, it's quite difficult. Yeah. So those when they come to the meditation parts, maybe I can show you a little bit things. Maybe some of looks like not having. So there's a five parts there. Here, when it comes to the meditation part, right here, Mahayana part of meditation, which has 10 grounds, right? 10 grounds. So those 10 grounds, first ground, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way 10 grounds. So each of the ground has two parts: meditative equipoise part of meditation, and subsequent attainment part of the meditation, part of the meditations. So right now, what they're talking about is here, meditative equipoise part of the parts of the part of meditation. This has a three, right? The uninterrupted part of the part of meditation, the part of release of the part of meditation, and simply meditative equipoise, the part of meditation, the three of them, right? So when you go all the way here, the 10, number 10, there are the two meditative equipoise part of meditation has two part of that. Maybe I will go later detail. So the last one, the 10 ground, the meditative equipoise, the part of meditation, that bodhisattvas is what they're doing is that bodhisattva is antidoting to the one of the subtlest part of the defilements, antidoting there. So that's the last one. So when they antidote, so here when they say the last one, it is called the uninterrupted part of the end of the continuum. That name of that bodhisattva is called the uninterrupted part of the end of the continuum. In that bodhisattva, which is one of the, now they have only left very subtle defilement obstacle, antidoting that. So when he was antidoting on that, and here it's saying bodhisattvas, since bodhisattvas, that bodhisattva was the last part, the 10th bhumis, the bodhisattva, have no attainment, means in that meditative equipoise, have no any conventional reality, right? Not appearance, any conventional reality. No attainment means no appearance, any conventional phenomena, right? No appearance, because that last, the bodhisattva is part of the what you call uninterrupted path, which is only focused on ultimate truth, emptiness, right? They recognize or cognizing ultimate truth directly. In that field, there's no any conventional reality. That is why it's no attainment. They rely on this perfection of wisdom. So these 10 bhumis of Bodhisattva, they rely on this perfection of wisdom, the wisdom of emptiness, and abide. So they rely on that, then they abide, means they remain with the wisdom of emptiness in it. And the result, having no obscuration in their minds, right? After they remain on that wisdom of emptiness, finally, when they completely antidote to the final, like subtlest destructive emotion, after they completely eliminated, then they say, having no obscuration in their mind, then their mind is completely free from any obstacles, right? So freedom comes from wisdom of emptiness, the perfection of wisdom. So perfection of wisdom, they rely on perfection of wisdom and they abide. They remain with the perfection of wisdom. That perfection of wisdom completely overcome all the obstacles. That is why having no obscuration in their mind. They have no fear, because no obscuration, no affliction, then they are free from fears, right? They have no fear and going utterly beyond ego, they will reach the end of nirvana, Buddhahood, right? Maybe first stop here. So now this paragraph is talking about the how to train on perfection wisdom on the path of no more learning. The fifth part, the path of no more learning, right? So when you go, if you go very detailed, maybe you can say paragraph, the line, therefore, Shariputra, since Bodhisattvas, which are the 10 bhumis of the Bodhisattvas, if you go specific the name of that, Bodhisattva, not all the Bodhisattva from 10 bhumi. There's the last sentient beings, right? The Bodhisattva, which is the last part of the Bodhisattva. It's called the path of meditation. It's path of meditation, concentration like a vajra. It's called concentration like a vajra. That stages of the Bodhisattva, which since Bodhisattva, which means that the Bodhisattva who has the path of meditation, concentration like a vajra, have no attainment, means in that moment, that Bodhisattva is directly meditating or realizing emptiness in that field, in that perception. There's no any attainment. There is all the conventional phenomena, right? That means they're perceiving emptiness directly, single pointly, right? Free from dualistic, right? Free from dualistic, no appearance, any conventional. Only appear is emptiness. It's the only. So that is why they have no attainments. They rely on this professional. This Bodhisattva who reached the path of meditation, the 10 bhumis, concentration like a vajra, Bojita Vitingiti in Tibetan, rely on this perfection of wisdom, which is the wisdom of emptiness, and abide it, right? They meditate on that. They remain with this wisdom of emptiness. Therefore, finally having no obscuration in their mind. Finally, that wisdom of emptiness completely eliminate all the obscurations, afflictive, cognitive, both, right? All the obscuration they purify. That is why having no obscuration in their mind. So when you go, maybe when you precisely go, maybe you can say the first line, therefore, Shariputra, since bodhisattvas have no attainment, they rely on this perfection of wisdom and abide in it. This two line is showing how to train on the perfection of wisdom on the path of meditation, concentration like a vajra, right? In that bodhisattvas. Then the next, having no obscuration, then it started the how to train on the perfection of wisdom on the path of no more learning, right? They started actually paragraph from there. Having no obscuration in their mind, they have no fear, right? When they don't have any obscuration, they are free from fear and going utterly, you know. So they are going utterly beyond ego, which means they are free from all the wrong perception, So utterly go beyond ego means they're completely beyond, means free from all the ignorance, wrong perception. They will reach the end of nirvana when the beings are completely free from all the wrong perception, even the imprint of wrong perception, then they all achieve end of nirvana, Buddhahood, right? So that means that Buddha would achieve through wisdom of emptiness, the perfection of wisdom, right? They achieve that nirvana, end of the nirvana, by perfection of wisdom. Not only that, all the Buddhas too, who abide in the 3 times, attain the full awakening of unexcelled, perfect enlightenment by relying on this profound perfection of wisdom. That means all the past Buddha, present Buddha, future Buddha, all of them to achieve Buddhahood is through the perfection of wisdom, relying on this profound perfection of wisdom. So perfection of the wisdom is the one who leads you to the Buddhahood. All the past Buddhas achieve enlightenment through perfection of wisdom, relying on perfection of wisdom. Present Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni himself achieved Buddhahood through relying on perfection of wisdom. Future Buddha, Maitreya and all the future, right? Whoever comes to achieve Buddhahood, they're also going to rely on perfection of wisdom. So that means the 10th Bhumi, the Bodhisattva, relying on perfection of wisdom, they remain with the perfection of wisdom. Through that perfection of wisdom will eliminate all the obscuration. Because of that, they have no fears. They're going utterly beyond the ego. They're completely free from all the egos, and they will reach the Buddhahood into the nirvana. Not only the 10th Bhumi, the Bodhisattva himself, even the past, all the Buddha been that same way, present Buddha been doing that same, future Buddha will achieve only through that. There's no another path. There's no another door, to enter the liberation. Only wisdom of emptiness is called perfection of wisdom is the door to enter, to take you to the nirvana. That's how the Buddha saying that means. So this paragraph is talking about the no more learning path, right? This is the no more learning path. Now Buddhahood, no more learning path is the Buddhahood. So the Buddha would achieve same from the perfection of wisdom. Accumulation path, preparation path, meditation path, all of those paths, the real, who leads them? Who leads the higher path? Wisdom of emptiness is the one, take them to the higher realization. So it's showing wisdom of emptiness, the profession of wisdom is how much important. The essence of the practice, or the essence of the what you call path, who leads to the Buddhahood, who leads to any higher realization, is perfection of wisdom. It's the main, only that. So this Panchaparamita Sutra, this Heart Sutra, is try to introduce us. First, Buddha talk about, our form is empty, emptiness is form, right? All of this, what you call, introduce the object, the emptiness, the phenomena, right? When you understand that, then next of all this is they're not talking about emptiness, they're talking about the path, right? So in the what you call the seeing path, the seeing path, the Bodhisattva who reached the seeing path, and then meditation path, no more learning path, all of them, all of this realization, the achievement is through perfection of wisdom, the wisdom of emptiness. It's the how much it's important, right? It's talking about that. So that is why, this whole paragraph is about that. So then finally, Teta Vena Shera Japara to Chibena, Riba Chibena, Lana Medena, Minyambada, Nyambena, Tungetam Jera to Shiva Chibena, Mizimpena, Dembra Shiba to the Shera Japara to Chibena, Mebas. Now, next paragraph. Now, next paragraph is, the what you call the therefore, right? Therefore, one should know that the mantra of perfection of wisdom. So now that this paragraph is actually, when I look into the commentary, they're saying, I mentioned earlier, when the Mahayana are the practitioners, right? The Mahayana practitioners has two different type of the practitioner. One is very smart, what you call student. One is a little bit dull, right? Smart and dull. So since the beginning and till this part, it's for the dull student, and it'll go step by step. Now this paragraph is talking about the smart students of the Bodhisattvas, how they enter the emptiness. So therefore, one should know that the mantra of perfection of wisdom. So the mantra of perfection of wisdom, they use mantra, right? This mantra, it's usually when we talk about Vajrayana and Sutrayana, right? That there are two different, within the Mahayana, there are two different vehicles, Vajrayana and Sutrayana. But this is when they say that the mantra of perfection of wisdom, mantra which doesn't mean Vajrayana, among the two vehicles, is not talking about the Vajrayana. It's sometimes they use the mantra which means some kind of the recitation mantra. It's not Vajrayana vehicle mantra, recitation mantra, right? Sometimes when they comes like this, people may think, oh, this is Vajrayana practice. It doesn't mean that. When they say, one should know that the mantra of perfection of wisdom. So the mantra of perfection of wisdom, which means the wisdom of emptiness. The wisdom of emptiness they call the mantra of perfection of wisdom. Why it's called the mantra of perfection of wisdom? Because this is the mantra of because it causes one to go beyond the oceans of samsara, right? Beyond the oceans of samsara. That is why wisdom of emptiness is called the mantras. Usually, when we talk about the mantra, right? In Vajrayana, sometimes in Sanskrit word, either you say tantric yana, mantra yana. Mantra is mantra. Man means mind, right? The mind is called man in Sanskrit. Tra means save or protect. That's called the mantra. Save the mind, right? Save the mind depend on which practice you do, right? Here, saving mind from what kind of obstacles? And a mantra usually literally means save the mind. So here, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the wisdom of emptiness, it's called the mantra of perfection of wisdom because it causes one to go beyond the oceans of samsara. So it saves you from samsara, right? Suffering of samsara. Wisdom of emptiness leads you, take you to the liberation, right? It's called because it causes one to go beyond the oceans of samsara. That is why it's called the mantra of perfection of wisdom. Got it now, right? Then second, the mantra of great knowledge, right? The mantra of great knowledge. Why the perfection of wisdom, the wisdom of emptiness called mantra of great knowledge? Because it destroys all the affliction, right? So wisdom of emptiness destroying all the afflictions such as ignorance, mind of ego graspings. So it's destroying all your affliction. That is why it's called mantra of great knowledge. Knowledge is the wisdom, right? Who destroy what? All the ignorance, all the misperception, right? That is why wisdom of emptiness is called mantra of knowledge, right? Then the next, unexcelled mantra. So the perfection of wisdom is called unexcelled mantra because this is the mantra of unsurpassed, because it is no path higher than this is to reach liberation. There is no higher practice than wisdom of emptiness, right? Wisdom of emptiness is the one who takes you to the liberation, only that, mainly. So there's no higher kind of the path who leads it. It's called the unexcelled mantra, because there is no path higher than wisdom of emptiness, the higher than this to reach to the liberation. That's why it's called unexcelled mantra. The mantra equal to the unequaled. So mantra equal to the unequal because it is equal to the unequal Buddha. Buddha is called unequal Buddha. Here unequal, which means nobody can go same like a Buddha's knowledge, right? None of can equal to the Buddha's knowledge. Buddha's knowledge or wisdom is the highest one. Nobody can compare with Buddha's what you call knowledge. That's why it's called unequal Buddha. So this mantra, it is the equal to the unequal Buddha. It is equal to the Buddha's unequal. That's why I call the mantra of equal to the unequal. Then the next, the mantra that calls all suffering. So the mantra that calls all the sufferings, because it has the power to pacify all the sufferings together with its causes. So wisdom of emptiness has power to pacify all the sufferings, right? Also with the causes of suffering also. That is why wisdom of emptiness called the mantra that calls all sufferings. It's truth because it is not deceptive. So it is truth. Wisdom of emptiness is the truth. It's truth because just as the perfection of wisdom sees reality, it is true. So wisdom of emptiness, what they cognize, what they seeing is the truth, reality. That's what called is true, non-deceptive, what do you call? Deceptive, right? Non-deceptive. So
Deceptive.
that's why, huh?
Deceptive.
Deceptive, yes, non-deceptive and non-false. That's why I call it's true because it is non-deceptive. So that wisdom of emptiness is the one only, it's called cognizing the ultimate truth, ultimate reality. That's what I call it's truth. And because it is non-deceptive. The mantra of perfection of wisdom is proclaimed, right? That is why it's called the mantra of perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. So now here the mantras that we use that mantra, right? So wisdom of emptiness, why it's called the mantra, it's something save us, save you from obstacles, from samsara, from all this they're talking about, right? Ignorance or what you call mind of ego grasping and so forth. That is why it's called the mantra. Vajrayana, when you say mantra, right? Mantra means save the mind. Save from where? Vajrayana is specific. It's called saving from ordinary appearance and ordinary graspings, right? So ordinary appearance and grasping is the unique obstacle. Sutrayana, they're not talking about these other obstacles. Sutrayana's talking obstacle is affliction, cognitive obscuration, right? Afflictive obscuration, cognitive obscuration. They recognize only these two. Upon their Vajrayana unique obstacle is, I mentioned earlier, what you call ordinary appearance and ordinary grasping, right? So finally, when you achieve the what you call the Buddhahood, maybe before that I can go maybe give you a little explanation. Maybe some of you might be not understanding this. Like a little bit bigger. So maybe I go a little bit detailed information on this, other parts. First, many of us we're thinking, oh, you just meditate, emptiness, bodhicitta, then something like you just directly go to the Buddhahood, right? It's not. First, when we're talking about among the 5 parts, first, here among the Mahayana part of accumulation, the first part is accumulation part, has 3 levels: small, middling, great. Small, which means first when you bodhicitta, when you achieve the bodhicitta, when you attain the bodhicitta, then you reach accumulation part. Till that you are not, right? Accumulation part is the first part to achieve to the Buddhahood among the Mahayana 5 parts. So first when you achieve bodhicitta, you got within the accumulation part, there are 3 levels. The first small accumulation part, you reach that. Then middling part is bodhicitta like a gold. So your bodhicitta becoming more stable. The first bodhicitta is very unstable bodhicitta. Still bodhicitta, but it's unstable. It can decline. If you not practice constantly, it will decline. So, but still bodhicitta, that's why you achieve first part. Then through meditate, after your bodhicitta become stable bodhicitta. It's called bodhicitta like a gold. So when you reach that level, then you jump into middling accumulation path. Difference between small bodhicitta is unstable bodhicitta, middling bodhicitta is stable bodhicitta, right? You jump there. Now from middling to great Mahayana path, how should you jump? You reach concentration of continuous dharma. So there's a one special concentration, samadhi, one stable special samadhi called concentration of continuous dharma. In order to reach that, you have to achieve shamatha meditation. You have to achieve vipassana, right? There are two different kinds of the meditation, shamatha and the vipassana. So you need to achieve both of them in order to reach that, this kind of special concentration. What is called mental stability of continuous dharma or concentration of continuous dharma. Tibetan word called Chigyunchi Tenginzi. What is that? What that means when you reach that power of that concentration of continuous dharma, you can listen the teaching from eons of the mile. The Buddha, when they teach, the gap is the eons of miles, thousands of miles gap there, you can able to hear Buddha's teaching. That power of concentration can reach wherever the teacher teach. Even your body is not there, your mind can able to hear that kind of power called concentration of continuous dharma. So when you reach that, you jump into great accumulation path, right? That's the first part. This first part, main focus, bodhicitta first. Second, concentration, shamatha and vipassana, right? Then next here, Mahayana part of preparation, second part, preparation. Preparation has 4 levels: heat, peak, forbearance, and I don't see that. Supreme heat or something, right? I think supreme dharma, maybe supreme dharma. So now from accumulation part to preparation part, how should they jump? Means how should you achieve preparation after that, after this grade? First, when you achieve the grade part, you have shamatha and vipassana, right? It's called union of shamatha and vipassana. The union of stabilization and analytical meditation, right? So when you jump into preparation part, which means that union of shamatha and vipassana is not general object, specific on emptiness. So when you achieved the union of shamatha and vipassana on emptiness, then you jump into preparation part, right? In here, in the great accumulation part is, you do have union of shamatha and vipassana, but it's not on emptiness. It's on just general conventional phenomena, right? Then you study emptiness, hearing, listening, right? Thinking, analyzing, analytical meditation, through finally you're cognizing emptiness, but that cognizing emptiness through shamatha and vipassana, right? Through the meditation of vipassana. Then you jump into the next, the preparation part. So in accumulation part, maybe even you're understanding emptiness, maybe cognizing emptiness, the wisdom of emptiness, which is originate from hearing and thinking, right? But after the wisdom who cognizing emptiness originate from meditation, shamatha and vipassana, then you jump into preparation part, right? Heat, preparation part has 4 levels: heat, peak, and forbearance, and supreme dharma. Now, what are different these 4? Heat, when Bodhisattva reached the meditative stabilization, which is a union of karma binding, special insight, right? When the Bodhisattva reached the meditative stabilization, which is called union of karma binding, which is shamatha, special insight, vipassana, conceptuality. It's not directly, it's very important, each of these words, conceptually realizing emptiness. So when you are in preparation part, your understanding on emptiness is not directly, right? It's conceptually, thought, right? Thought, not just direct perception. Conceptually realizing emptiness. They are getting closer to the direct realization of emptiness, right? When you cognizing emptiness conceptually, now you are close to cognizing directly, but you are not there, you are close there, which is why the heat level is sign that practitioners are approaching the fire of the meditative equipoise or the path of seeing. So path of seeing is like a fire. Why it's called fire? Path of seeing is the part which cognizing emptiness directly, nakedly, very powerful, right? Fire can burn everything. So it's a very powerful wisdom, can burn all the obstacles. But in preparation part, you don't have direct perception. You cognizing conceptually, therefore it's close there. So when you're close to the fire, you feel heat, right? You get the heat. So that's why it's called heat, because it's close to the fire of the meditative equipoise of the path of seeing, right? That's why called heat. Then second, peak. Second level is called peak. This level of the path of preparation is called peak because it exceeds and is superior to the heat level. Now, you're cognizing emptiness still conceptually, but conceptually, you're cognizing emptiness more stronger than heat level. Right? Second level is much stronger. It's the peak of the heat. That is why it's called second peak. Then third, forbearance. Bodhisattvas cannot be reborn into lower realms. Now your cognizing emptiness is very very strong. Your mind of ego grasping, which is called ignorance. Among the 12 link of dependence, first ignorance, becoming powerless, right? Where the wisdom of emptiness become power, that one's become declining, right? It's powerless. That is why Bodhisattva, when you reach that forbearance, your wisdom of emptiness, something antidoting, or what you call antidoting to the causes of 3 lower realms, right? 3 lower realms which are hell realm, hungry ghost, animals. So these causes of lower realms are negative, non-virtuous karmas. So the non-virtuous karmas, like strong karmas, becoming weaker and weaker, That is why when you reach the forbearance level, you cannot born into lower-realms. After that, you will never ever born into lower-realms. That's why forbearance. Then the next, supreme dharma. This level is called supreme dharma because it is supreme among mundane virtues. So accumulation and the preparations are the part of mundane path, mundane virtues. Next, when you jump to the seeing path, they're called supermundane, supreme beings. They're free from mundane things, right? It's called supermundane or supremes. That's why among the mundane realization, the last one is the highest virtues, supreme among all the mundane virtues. That is why it's called supreme dharma, right? So then next, it will jump into Arya beings, right? Supreme beings. That is why among the mundane virtues, this is the top mundane virtues, one of the highest realization among the mundane virtues. That's why they're called supreme mundane. Then next, now Mahayana path of seeing, third path of seeing. How they jump into preparation to path of seeing? Because after you meditate constantly emptiness, preparation path, you're conceptually realizing emptiness, right? After you meditate, you're cognizing emptiness directly, non-conceptually, right? Directly when you're cognizing emptiness, then you jump into Mahayana path of seeing, third path of seeing. So that they have two different levels. First, meditative equipoise parts of the path of seeing, subsequent attainment parts of the path of seeing. So meditate equipoise path of seeing, which means that has a two subdivision. The uninterrupted part of the path of seeing, the path of release of the path of seeing. So all are meditative equipoise part of the direct realizing and emptiness antidote to the object of abandonment of the path of seeing. So what that means, the first when you reach the Mahayana path of seeing, you reach this, the uninterrupted part of the path of seeing, Pachemelam, which means you cognizing emptiness finally directly, right? You experience emptiness directly. When you experience your perception, the wisdom becomes so powerful. So that when they become so powerful, it can able to directly antidote to the here object of abandonment of the path of seeing. So one of the very gross level of wisdom of emptiness, it's called imputed object of abandonment. It's very complicated. I do not want to go that way. Just simple way, very gross level of the object of abandonment of the path of seeing, very gross level of mind of ego grasping, eventually your wisdom becoming what you call enough power to antidote. Direct antidote means you're fighting directly. That level is called uninterrupted path of the path of seeing. So uninterrupted path of seeing is you are fighting, means antidoting to that very gross level of mind of ego grasping, right? You're fighting. Finally, your gross level of mind of ego grasping is eliminated. You release that. You completely eliminate. When you eliminate it, you are still, your mind is still on emptiness. You still remain on emptiness. You're just fighting. Eventually, your mind of ego grasping, one of the grosser level is slowly, it's purified. You are still same meditative equipoise. But that moment, you are not antidoting now because your object is gone, right? The object where you antidote, it's you release them. So that's next level called the path of release or the path of seeing. Release what they release, that object of abandonment, the gross level of mind of ego grasping through the path of uninterrupted, antidote them, purify. When you purify them, then you reach to the path of release of the path of seeing. So both of them are still meditated equipoise. They are still meditation stage, on emptiness. So after that finish, then slowly you wake up from the meditation. Then what you do, you cultivating conventional paths, generosity, other practice, compassion, teaching, all kind of benefiting to others. When you wake up from that, then you jump into subsequent attainment part of the path of seeing. So subsequent attainment, sometimes they use post meditation, right? Subsequent means after you wake up from the meditative equipoise, from the meditation emptiness, because when your mind is fully focused on emptiness, you cannot do other practice like generosity, teaching. You cannot do, only Buddha can do that way, both sides. As sentient beings, when you are stage of the meditative equipoise, here Heart Sutra saying, right, there's no form, no tongue, no, all kind of no, right? They cannot do any other conventional things. That is why, in these two stages, is nothing. It's only emptiness meditation. Then after you wake up and you're teaching, you taking care of others, you're benefiting, you're meditating in other bodhicitta and other things, then you call subsequent attainment path of seeing, right? That's the call. Path of seeing has these two level, and first level had two different subdivision, right? Each of them had different kind of the function. The uninterrupted stage is you antidoting. The path of release, you are free from that objects. Then you wake up from the meditation. Then you're doing the conventional, like you're cultivating merits, general merits, subsequent attainment, right? Then next here, Mahayana path of meditation. Now meditation path has 10 grounds, 10 bhumis. So the meditation path is, within the meditation path, there's a 10 kind of stages. The first ground, it's in the sutra, they call the name of the first ground is called perfect joy. Second ground, second bhumi is called the stainless. Third, the luminous. Fourth, the radiant. Fifth, hard to conquer. Sixth ground is called the manifest. Seventh, gone afar. Fourth, the immovable. Ninth, perfect intellect. Then the 10th, cloud of the Dharma. These are the name, each of the ground, each of the stages of the ground, they label these names in the sutra. So each, this, why they call this, they have a detailed information, this, why you call perfect joy, they have that. But we don't have the time to go detail. Now each of these ground has, same ground has two parts. Meditative equipoise part of the path of meditation, subsequent attainment part of the path of meditation. Same, right? In the path of seeing has two division, same here, two division. Each of the ground has a two kind of the divisions. Meditated equipoise and subsequent attainment, two different parts. Meditated equipoise has three. The uninterrupted part of the path of meditation, the this I don't see them, little things there. Okay, so the uninterrupted part, wait. have here in my book. So it's called the uninterrupted part of the path of meditation, the path of release of the path of meditation. That's the true same in the path of seeing also has. Here, one extra simple meditative equipoise part of the path of meditation. One extra in the meditation path has one extra, the last one. Same, so these 10 divided by obstacles. Now, when you put obstacle, there are afflictive obscuration, cognitive obscuration. First, two different obstacles, right? Afflictive obscuration, which are our destructive emotions, afflictions. Cognitive obscuration, which is subtle, the defilement, subtle, the tendency of the afflictions, right? The imprints of the afflictions, subtle, called cognitive obscurations. You know this too, right? We usually make an example, garlic and the smell of the garlic, right? Like that. But the first afflictive obscuration divided, if you go detail, first go 3. Big affliction, like a big afflictive obscuration, medium afflictive obscuration, small. Big, medium, small means very aggressive, very strong, heavy, less and less. The same mind of ego grasping, very heavy and strong, and lighter and lighter. You put 3 divided. Within the big affliction, you put 3 divided 3. Big, 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 medium, big, small, right? Within the medium, big, medium, small. Within the small, big, small, medium, small. It's divided 9 different afflictions, like an onion. Onion has many layers. Similarly, mind of ego grasping or our affliction has many layers. So here, first, they put the 9 different layers, right? So each of these layers, when you clean it up, first the outside the layers, you have to clean it up. Then inside the layer, then go you in like that. So first, I don't want to go very, very detailed. It's little complication, so go very simple way. The first ground is antidoting, first ground, the meditative equipoise part of meditation is antidoting to big mental affliction, right? The antidote, the object, what you call the object they need to purify. Where they're antidoting to the big mental afflictions. Then after you purify that, you jump into subsequent attainment part of meditation. You are free, not subsequent. First here, uninterrupted part of the path of meditation is antidoting to the big mental affliction. After you free from them, you jump into second, the path of release of the path of meditation. You release that afflictions, right? Then after, simple meditative equipoise part of meditation is, after that, you are not antidoting, you just free, already you are released from them, you just remain simple, meditate on emptiness. You're relaxing on therefore. So that's called simple meditative equipoise, which means you are now trying to antidoting. You are now trying to antidoting second layers, big, medium afflictions, right? Finally, when you're able to antidote that, then you jump into second ground, stainless. Same, the second ground, stainless, first called uninterrupted, which is that stage. Now you are antidoting to the big, medium affliction. Then after you release that, part of the release, part of meditation, you jump there. Then after you just relaxing on that meditation, you try to antidoting to the next layer, big, small, right? Finally, when you're able to antidote that, then you jump into third ground. Then same, that is how you go all the way to the sixth ground, right? The 6 layers. The last 7, the 3 layers, the small, big, small, medium, small, small, all of these 3 one time together, antidoting in here, the 7th ground. So the 7th ground is antidoting to the small, big, small, medium, small, small, 3 all simultaneously in that uninterrupted part of the 7th ground is antidoting. Then after you release, you're free, you jump into second. Then after you just simple meditate, remain there, simple meditative equipoise, right? So then, yeah. First you going uninterrupted and release these 2. After these 2, you go to the subsequent attainment path. You wake up from the meditative equipoise, first 1, number 2, then you jump into subsequent attainment. And that may, when you wake up from meditation, then you're doing the other practice. Here, first Bhumi, you're practicing on generosity. Second Bhumi, morality, is called 10 perfections, right? When you wake up, when you are in subsequent attainment, you're practicing on morality, patience, joy, each Bhumi. So number 7 is the perfection of skillful means. So first, you antidoting here uninterrupted is antidoting to the all the 3 small afflictions. After you release that, you jump into the path of release of the meditation. Then you wake up from the meditation called subsequent attainment path. In that stage, you're practicing skillful meanings, the 7 perfection. Then after you again go back to the meditation on emptiness, that's how it's called simple meditative equipoise. And then finally, when you're able to antidote to the cognitive obscuration. Now from number 1 to number 7, you just antidoting to the affliction obscuration, right? Number 7, you completely, after that, you completely clean the what you call the afflictive obscuration. Now, number 8, you're coming to antidoting to the cognitive obscuration. Started from here. Cognitive obscuration started here. So cognitive has a 3, big, small, medium. So that is how each first big, then small, medium, finally small, antidote. Then finally, when you completely eliminate in number 10, when you completely eliminate small cognitive obscuration, then you achieved no more learning path, right? No more learning path is Buddhahood. They are the 3 kayas: truth body, completion enjoyment body, emanation body, dharma kaya, sambhoga kaya, nirvana kaya. This sambhoga kaya and nirvana kaya is the form body, enlightened body. Dharma kaya is enlightened mind. So maybe now time is too much cold, so I'll stop here. So we still don't have enough time to go all the detail, but the Heart Sutra itself is now finishing. It's just last simple things. So it's mainly these 5 parts. If you know how it works, then, because the complication is Madhyamika Prasangika, explanation of 10 Bhumi, Madhyamika autonomy schools, Swatantika's explanation, mind-only schools. Each of them, when they explain those 5 parts, little differences, right? Madhyamika Swatantika is a little bit easier. Prasangika it's quite complicated. But finally, this 10 bhumi, the meditation path is a 10 stages, right? 10 bhumi. First 7 is antidoting to the afflictive obscuration. Last 3, 8, 9, 10 bhumis, it's called Thakpa, means pure bhumi. So these 3 is called the pure bhumi. It started antidoting to the cognitive obscuration. So the Martyamika Prasanchika school, if you not eliminate the afflictive obscuration, if you're not free from them, you cannot antidote to the cognitive obscuration. In order to antidote to the cognitive obscuration, first you have to free from afflictive obscuration, right? That's the middle way consequences school's view. Autonomy, not. You can go both together. You can together simultaneously antidote both. So that's why it's a little bit complicated. So it's almost 9. So now finally here this word, therefore one should know that the mantra of perfection of wisdom, that's talking about the accumulation path. Second, the mantra of great knowledge, which refers preparation path. The unexcelled mantra is seeing path, refers. The mantra of equal to the unequal refers meditation path. The mantra that calls all sufferings, that refers no more learning path, right? No more learning path. So those 5 parts in here, 1 paragraph. So the student, the Mahayana, the practitioner, the smart students, when they, to them, those students, how they experience emptiness, the path, this paragraph, the mantra of preparation, that each 5 parts refers from there. Then finally, all together, when you put it all together, then this mantra, Tayata Gate Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate Buddhi Soha, right? So Gate Gate means gone, gone. Paragate means gone beyond. Parasamgate means gone completely beyond. Buddhi Soha means enlightenment or established the enlightenment, right? So this mantra, first Gate is accumulation path. Second Gate refers preparation path. Third Paragate refers seeing path. Parasamgate refers meditation path. Bodhi Soha refers no more learning path, right? Those 5 paths, showing in this one mantra, Gate Gate. So means gone, gone, gone beyond, gone completely beyond, and established enlightenment, right? Bodhi means Bodhi is the enlightenment. Soha means established. So established enlightenment. So which now finally conclusion is bodhicitta, assistant of the wisdom of emptiness, with the assistance of bodhicitta, will take you to the first gone, accumulation path. Second gone, preparation path. Then third, paragate, gone beyond, right? Meditation, seeing path. Parasamgate, meditation path. Then finally, Bodhi Soha, no more learning paths. So all of those paths to lead us to the finally Bodhi enlightenment through wisdom of emptiness. It's the main, with the assistance of bodhicitta, right? That is why this Heart Sutras, explicitly is talking about the emptiness, but the implicitly refers or is showing all the path, stages of the path, right? How to achieve the Buddhahood. So then now we have only 1 class left, right? So now there's the last section, which is Buddha himself then wake up from the meditation. Then what Buddha said, the actual his own word, we're going to keep it the last section just as an auspicious way, right? So I still feel like, explanation of those 5 parts is not enough time, but hopefully future when we got another time, we'll go into a little bit detail. Again, if you have some doubts, but important part is at least you have these notes there, right? All of you have these notes, those note, I put it there. So read it, familiarize, and the main purpose, now the pinpoint is all of those parts, who leads you? Wisdom of emptiness, right? That's the main, the Buddha wants to say that. So all the layers of the afflictions, the obstacle which we have, who destroy these layers of the obstacle? Wisdom of emptiness is the only who destroy that. It's the only the sword can cut, each of these affliction. So that is why the wisdom of emptiness is the only the door, will take you, leads you to the end of the nirvana, Buddhahood. So that means as a Buddhist or follower of Buddha or the student of the Buddha, this emptiness philosophy is one of the most important texts or the subject we need to study constantly. It is not easy, it is difficult, but just listening, just hearing these things can, Buddha says, it purify, heavy negative karmas, right? The first section, I show you a few of the texts, what the Buddha says on the other texts, how much it benefit just listening the text of, we explain the emptiness, just to have doubt to the emptiness, just reading, just thinking about the emptiness can, how much it's benefiting you to purify the negative karma. Of course, when you're cognizing emptiness, then you have now real weapon, real equipment, the sword, you already have that now. Now only your job is you need to cut it that. You already have the weapon there. Right now, we don't have that equipment, right? Our yard is become like a jungle. Too much garbage, too much things going, poison the plants all over there, right? Now to cut, we need the sword, right? That sword is wisdom of emptiness. So that first very difficult. So constantly study, and what you learn, we have to meditate. If you not meditate, the problem is academically you say yes perfectly, but when you meditate, they never feeling never comes there. So that is why in order to feel wisdom, just education, study not enough. Accumulate merits, purifying the obstacles. So preliminary practice, prostrations, offerings, confessions, rejoicing, all these seven limbs of the practice will be, and every time we're doing is the preliminary practice. This practice helps you accumulate merits, virtues, purifying the obstacles. When you have enough merit, when your obstacles completely removed, then when you meditate, I think that it's much easier to experience emptiness. Like a summer, right now when you look at in my yard, these grass are just within the day, it can grow up like a few inches, like growing very fast. Winter time, even you put the water, it stays very limited, right? When the full circumstances there, causes conditions there, result very fast. When the causes condition is not there, how much you try, it remain very fragile. So to grow the wisdom, study first, but at the same time, accumulate merits, purifying the obstacle constantly. So when you have enough merits and are purifying obstacle, then when you meditate, it's much faster result. So in order to accumulate merits, purifying the obstacle, the one of the best object we use to accumulate merit is our gurus. That's why I call guru devotions, right? So why the guru devotion is very important for the practice? Because of that object for you, huge differences offer to 1,000 Buddhas, full of space of the foods, offer to one's gurus, kind gurus, just only one pieces of food. The merit you accumulate to offer to one's guru is much bigger, much larger than offer to all the Buddhas, according to the sutra saying that, right? So that is why the guru devotion, why this is important when the Mahamudra or what you call Dzogchen, all these practice, why they're talking, because of the merits they accumulate through the guru is huge. That's why the preliminary practice when they're doing guru yoga practice is because of that reason, right? So today I take 30 minutes almost extra, but I was thinking maybe this 5 part is not very clear. So it's okay, maybe even half hour take more because of today is the Sakadawa, which is the special month of the Buddha's birth day, enlightened day, parinirvana days, like all those 3 in 1 month, this month. So Buddha choose to this month, one of the most important, his deeds, right? His deeds is parinirvana, Echi Buddhahood, birth. So all of these 3 he choose in this month. That means this month has something special kind of connections. So when you do meditation or study and thinking, maybe it's more effective. And it's called the multiply the virtues and merits. So that is why, even we take a little bit more time, maybe it's good opportunity to this little time when we can have time, we can use more like that. Maybe we put some kind of more seed plant to our mind, like a wisdom of emptiness, right? The seed which plant deeper level. So that's why that this month, it's really, really important. Now it's just only 1 or 2 weeks left there. So during that time, study constantly in this emptiness philosophy, and what you study, meditate, practice, and every day accumulate virtuous merit means prostration, offerings, constantly do it accumulate virtuous merit. And that's when you meditate on any of realization, when you do, it's much faster, much easier. That is why. And then next Thursday might be, we have not, right? It's a full moon. Next Thursday is the full moon. So, which is the one of the best for the Buddhists. This is the one that is the best. Whole 24 hours should be used for dharma, right? In that day, just wasting here, there, then you miss huge big things. So this full moon, sometimes we thinking, oh, full moon is this day, maybe in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we can celebrate. Sunday, it's because of the day off. That's not going to work that way. This is the special day because of the cosmology, right? How the elements work. The external element connecting to our inner element. The inner element, it's something connecting to our mind. So some kind of realization is more better chance, right? That's why you say, oh, we are going to celebrate the next week or this the more better time. That's not going to work. It's specific. Whatever full moon, that's specific that day. Or no, external celebration is not big deal, whatever they do, right? Individual practitioner, that 24 hours is, I think, most important part. That's the day Buddha himself meditated emptiness. He achieved nirvana, right? Under the Bodhi trees. He chose that. It is saying middle of the night, like in the, what you call the sunset around that time, many obstacles, right? The Maras, they try to obstruct him. he defeat all of them. Then middle of the night, he fully concentrate on emptiness. You know, I mentioned earlier, the meditation stages we call the concentration like Vajra, 10th Bhumi 10th, concentration like a Vajra, that stage. And then finally, just dawn, early morning, the dawn. Then finally he defeated all even the subtle, cognitive obscuration, eliminated. And that moment he reached Dharmakaya, right? That's called Buddhahood. And all of this in the day 15th, next Thursday. So it's really, really important the day to practice. Okay, so I just cancel on that day. We have no teaching, but mains looks like I look at in the central calendar. There's nothing, anything. I didn't see anything there in the center. Looks like morning. We have a Mahayana precept morning, right? But the evening they might have not. So we'll see after 2-3 days before that. Maybe if there's nothing, anything, maybe we're going to practice on the practice of encompassing both a yogi mind or something, right? That we did one time before. So encompassing yogi mind, which is the union of bodhicitta and emptiness practice. So that will decide maybe 2-3 days before the day 15th. So if there's nothing, anything, then I will guide this meditation. We'll send you the booklet, in there, and then you can get it. All-encompassing yoga mind. Yeah, all-encompassing yoga mind. So that practice will do it that. So that is all. Then this weekend we have a Nyungne. So some of you can allow, some of you maybe not allowed, but the Nyungne practice is this started tomorrow evening. Then Saturday and Sunday is the very strict retreats. It's quite challenge. So Saturday morning we take a Mahayana precept, Saturday and Sunday both right Mahayana precept. Though for the people who take a Mahayana precept after the lunch, you are not allowed to eat, but you can drink water or something, right? But not juice, like heavy drink. Then Sunday whole day, no drinking, no eating, no talking. Only the Monday morning, right? When you get to the center, then you can allow to drink. So this retreat is quite tough, but the purpose of that, it's one of the purposes, mostly during the Sakadawa, because of the purification. So the karma which we have, the non-virtuous karma which is causes of hell realm, hungry ghosts, animals, specifically these three karma, purify. So in order to purify the hell realm karmas, during the retreat, we're doing lots of prostration, your pain here, there, difficult pain, and here, there. Then in order to purify the hungry ghost karma, not eating and not drinking, one day whole, that's ripening the karma of the hungry ghost. Then in order to purify the karma of the animal realms, but that part not need to record actually. It's what you call, during the practice, we are not allowed to talk, right? So completely silent is cleansing the karma of which is causes of animals. That is why, but real practice is not. These are just small things, right? Small thing. So it doesn't mean when you're doing the retreat, Nyungne retreat, doesn't mean you have to, stop eating or something like that. It doesn't mean depend on your health issues. These are not the main part. Main part is practice of bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness, arising, fun generation, self-generation, all this is kind of the part of the action tantras. But that's we're going to do in the weekend. So just give you a little information. Okay, finally, today we have no time to do the question answer section, just dedication. Okay, samsara and nirvana lack even an atom of true existence. While cause and effect and dependent arisings are infallible, I seek your blessing to discern the import of Nagarjuna's thought that these two are complementary and not contradictory. Chanju Sim Jordan Boji, Ma Ke Panam Ke Juji, Keba Nyamba Mepaya. Kone Kondo Power Show, may the precious and sublime Bodhicitta, not yet born, be born, and that which has been born not decline, but increase forever. In the snowy mountain paradise, you are the source of good and happiness, powerful things in Gyatso generously. May you stay until samsara ends. Okay, thank you.
Tucci